Top 10 Crazy Sex Escapades in the Bible, by Danny Marvel. 1. Absalom, the Bible's only porn star.
What?
Did you know that there was a pornography star in the Bible? This is not a joke. His name was Absalom. This handsome prince managed to dethrone his father, the great King David. But, as the new king, Absalom's idea of cementing his position on the throne was to act a pornography drama with his father's concubines. He had a theater stage set up for the royal pornography show. Then he stripped himself naked and had sex with all his father's concubines in the sight of all of Israel. Oh boy, there was no internet back then, otherwise, Absalom would surely have uploaded the clips for us all to see.
2. Judah and the Prostitute.
Judah was a man of God. But one day he came across a sweet-looking prostitute. Judah should have just walked on, he really should. Because, come on, he was a man of God. But more importantly, because he was broke. He had no money to pay for sex. But the prostitute was so hot. And Judah was so horny. His hormones were on fire. Judah was no slacker. He negotiated his way into the prostitute's pants without money. But things were not what they seemed to be. The sexy prostitute turned out to be Judah's daughter-in-law, Tamar. She had disguised herself as a prostitute to seduce her father-in-law and trick him into having sex with her.
What?
3. Onan and his semen.
Onan was a cute young man, but he was too selfish with his semen. Every time Onan had sex with the pretty Tamar, the wife he inherited from his late elder brother, Onan would withdraw just before ejaculation and then blast his semen all over the floor. God did not like the wastage of such high-quality semen. So God killed Onan. Well, the reality here is that Onan was the great-great-grandson of Abraham. Long before Onan was born, God had blessed Abraham's sexual organs to be exceeding fruitful and made a covenant with him, Genesis 17. Now as a great-grandson of Abraham, Onan was under the same covenant. He also carried the power of God in his sexual organs. So every time he splashed his semen all over the floor, he was dishonoring God and committing a terrible sin.
4. David and Bathsheba.
David was not just a king and a man of God. He was also a hustler. A sharp guy. So when King David looked down his roof and saw the naked sexy Bathsheba washing her beautiful body, he knew he just had to have a taste of that delicious curvy flesh. The king's attendants warned him that Bathsheba was someone else's wife. She was, in fact, married to a soldier called Uriah. But as a sharp guy, King David aimed to do a quick one, a hit and run. He would lure the sweet sexy Bathsheba to his royal bed, have his quick fun, and get her back to her husband's house before anyone else would find out. The sex escapade didn't quite work out as the adulterous king had planned. And all hell broke loose.
5. The prince who raped his sister.
The prince, Ammon, had a sick sexual appetite. He hatched a plan to rape his beautiful half-sister, Princess Tamar. If Ammon had foreseen that the crime would consequently bring about his death, he would have left his unruly penis in his pants. But the spoiled brat thought he could do whatever he wanted and go scot-free. He subdued and dragged the tearful princess to his bed. Completely deaf to her pleas, he mounted her and ravished her to his satisfaction. Prince Ammon didn't go scot-free. All hell broke loose in the kingdom because of this crime.
6. Lot and his daughters.
Lot was a holy man, and he had 2 pretty daughters. But the girls had a very crazy idea. They made Lot drink lots of wine. And one by one, the girls mounted their drunk father and had incestuous sex with the poor old man.
What?
7. Reuben and his father's concubine.
Reuben was the first son of Jacob. He was a nice fella, but he was also very horny. This horny dude lived in the days when it was not a sin for a man of God to have premarital sex. Seriously, there were no laws against fornication. Even what we call incest today was okay back then. These were the days before the 10 Commandments. So Reuben could have had sex with as many prostitutes and unmarried girls as he wanted and still be considered a holy man.
What?
But Reuben preferred the forbidden fruit. Reuben chose, instead, to taste his father's meat. So he dipped his fork into his father's plate and had a taste. He had sex with one of Jacob's concubines. We don't know what Reuben was thinking. Maybe he meant it as a joke. But his father, Jacob, wasn't finding it funny at all. He cursed Reuben, and Reuben lost his blessings and spiritual heritage as the first son of Jacob.
8. Samson and the Philistine prostitute.
Samson may have been the Bible's strongest man, but he was also a very horny fella. He was constantly in the bad habit of abandoning his office as leader of the Israelites and focusing, instead, on getting into the pants of sexy hot Philistine women. Oh boy, talk about sleeping with the enemy. The Philistines were the archenemy of Samson's people, the Israelites. But Samson loved to eat the forbidden fruit. Sadly, his sex escapades with Philistine women eventually brought him to chains and led him to a suicidal death.
9. Samson and Delilah.
Delilah was one of the most sexy women in the Bible. She was also the instrument that destroyed the Bible's strongest man, Samson. Samson was ready to do anything to continue having access to Delilah's hot pants. He was hopelessly addicted to the delicious warmth of her thighs. So when Delilah kept pestering him, Samson told her his greatest secret. The secret of his great strength. That was Samson's last day as a free man. His life would never be the same afterwards.
10. The rape of Dinah.
Dinah was a sweet-looking virgin girl, pure and fresh and delicious. One day, she strayed too far from her father's house, and none of her 12 brothers were there to protect her. A randy young man called Shechem saw the maiden alone, swinging her delicious hips as she walked. Like a ripe juicy apple swinging in the wind. The horny Shechem wanted a taste of this luscious fruit. He was sure it would be easy. He would grab the virgin girl, pluck her fruit and eat it quickly. And then, escape before anyone would find out. So he did just that. Shechem raped the virgin Dinah. But something very strange happened. As soon as Shechem was done ravishing the girl, he found that he could not just walk away. His heart and soul were now tied to the girl. He was now deeply in love and sought to make amends for his crime. But it would not be easy. Dinah had 12 powerful brothers. And, now, Shechem would have to contend with the wrath of the 12 sons of Jacob. Heads would be chopped off. Blood would flow. All hell would break loose because of the rape of Dinah.